Today we are in Renesse for the second beach race of the year. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about beach racing and about the bikes and tire pressure and everything. So if you want to know more, stick around. Just before the start.
Nervous as always.
Now we are in front of the start line. A little bit more chance for Otto. My legs feel a bit better than last time.
Getting cold.
You think my glasses are too big?
Okay, let's switch to some awesome race footage. This is the start and we started running out of the gate because the beach is very soft. Everyone was running and jumped on the bike when the beach was a bit better. I had a very bad start because when I jumped on my bike I lost my phone, and you see me running back here, grab my phone and get back on the bike. This completely ruined my start. The first group is already gone and you see a big gap, people passing me. But I decided to keep my head cool and wait a little bit, just recover a little when I was in the middle and then move to the front slowly. But then I see a gap in front of me and I decide to jump the gap. And there's actually one guy in front of me, he's losing the group in front of him. Yeah, I was happy to be the only one to make the jump. It looks like I'm going really slow, but with the wind that day it was pretty tough. When I got into the group I decided to stay there for a little bit to catch my breath. But then I see that we are still one big group and no breakaway has formed yet. So then I decide to go to the front bit by bit to see if I can find Otto. You really have to pick your moments to go to the front because the beach can be very bad. And here you can see the beach is a little bit harder, so it was a good moment to go to the front. On the right side you see a little bit water, you don't want to get in there. Just pick your good moments on the beach and move to the front. And it's a great moment because I'm at the front and to the right you can see Otto just on the right side of the frame. And we can actually switch to his camera and now you can see me riding into the frame as well. I have a much higher cadence than the rest of the group. Now I switch to the other side, you see me on the right side and we actually have time for a little chat. This is a good section because you can see that the beach is not as good everywhere. This is a part we later call the swamp, and that's because there's a small pot of water like 2 centimeters deep, sometimes deeper, and it's pretty hard to get through as well, so you have to find the right position. Also, the water is not good for your camera. You can already see some water coming on the lens. And if you listen closely, the salty water is very bad for your bikes as well. You can hear the bikes grinding. The salty water is just terrible for your chain and your disc brakes. Now we come to the part where the breakaway is formed. You see that the beach is terrible and you see these wooden fences, and every time we get a wooden fence there would be a sprint to the gate. You want to be the first out of the gate because in the back the group is bigger, so everyone has to brake to get through. And you see that the breakaway is formed. Otto, he's strong enough to stay in the front, so he was actually in the breakaway for quite some time, and my legs were worse, so I'm somewhere in the back. This is the part where Otto is losing the breakaway. So after the first loop he decided to stop, and here's a little explanation by Otto.
Nou, dat was hem. Ik knijp in de remmen. Kapot. Ik heb iets te gek gedaan. Eerste ronde moet nog een heel stuk. Ik ben net helemaal leeg, dus baal ik van. Ik voel me een beetje een slappe lul, maar het is even niet anders.
Now switch back to my camera. This is a cool part because this is the part where we get off the beach. So a little bit of concrete. You still have to find the best route because on the right you see some people on the soft sand and they are crashing. On this left side it was a little bit more easy. Just before this section I lost the group, and because I was a little bit faster in this technical part I could regain the group. You can see it here and you see the group in front of me. I take the sand a bit faster, so when I'm off the sand I'm just back in the rear of the group. So if you're a little bit faster on the technical sections, you can really win a lot. Here you can see that riding descent is not easy. You can see this guy in front of me almost crashing. It's fun that I got it on camera, but I am happy he was still on the bike.
Last section went very well. I was in a good group, and then had to close the gap to another group. Then my shades dropped. This race is not important enough to leave my my POC shades behind. So last 18 kilometers I have to do on my own. I'm slow pacing a bit because I want to wait for the next group, but we were on a good roll, so no one behind us. It's a bit sad I missed the group. Otto was doing very well, but I think I saw him on the way back, and then he was not in the group anymore. So I think he had a malfunction, maybe a flat tire, I don't know. And I'm all alone on the beach. Pretty cool.
This was the last part, almost at the finish line, and for me this was the most fun section because you have the beach on your left side, we have the wind in our back, and the beach is really hard, so we're riding with around 40 to 45 kilometers. So I hope you liked this in-race video with the camera and the voiceover, and I hope you learned a little bit about beach racing itself.
Bruno, Bobbink! Ja hoor, kom jongen! Bam! Lekker gek!
We finished. It was a pretty tough race, 72 kilometers. And I think the first part, like the first 20 kilometers, it was hard and it was tough, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish the second round because you have 2 loops. And almost finishing the first loop, I was thinking, should I continue? But then we did the loop, and I don't know, it was so much fun, and I really enjoyed myself.
Were you hoping for a flat tire?
I wasn't hoping for a flat tire or malfunction. I was so happy. I saw Otto turning around and I thought he had a malfunction, but some reason he quit. A lot of people say it was a hard race, but if it's hard, it's fun. I want to tell everyone who's watching, if you eat a bar, the wrapper you can just put in your bag. You don't have to throw it on the beach. I saw some throwing trash on the beach. I was in too much pain to kick them off the bike, but I was a bit angry. So don't throw anything on the beach. You're a
So here we see a little bit of the podium ceremony. We were racing for Theo Schilder Beach team, and they actually got first and second place, with Jordi Buskermolen on the first place and the very famous Thijs Sonneveld on the second place. Jasper Okkelung was on the third place, but he did win the overall competition.
Gaan we het Engels?
Ja, het Engels.
Holy fuck, dat moet ik af en toe nog even nadenken hoor.
Dennis, I got a lot of questions about tire pressure.
Tire pressure is the most important thing for beach racing. We ride about 0.6 bar. 0.6, 0.7. If you ride something harder, it's difficult to ride like smoothly. The same thing is for the chain rings. We ride mostly with a single speed chain ring with a 44 or a 46 tools on the front and 11 at the back.
And you can't go bigger than 44?
It's possible. Some people ride 48. And
Because I see here, I think this is very close.
46, yeah, that's a really. But this is made special. We make adjustments at the frame, so we can ride bigger chain rings in the front.
I see a lot of different handlebars. Can't you just ride with the normal road bike handlebar?
Not allowed, no, because it's like the UCI rules. You have to have a flare in the lower part of the bar, so you can ride a flip bar or a special dropper bar. But in Holland we call it the beach dropper bar. It's like an old school curly whirly, and it is a mountain bike bar.
Jasper, you're the pro of beach racing.
What I love about Jasper's bar is that you see the weird bars and you see that the shifter is bent as well. What Jasper did, he alternated the road bar so the shifter is still straight, so you have a normal position on the bike, but the ends they're just turned to the side. Your bar looks way different than everyone else's bar. Why does the bar of a beach bike look like this?
Okay, so you have two types of bars. Some riders choose for the normal straight bars, and some riders choose for this bar, like I am using. This is a specific beach bar, and the bend is a little bit outside. It is outside because it's not allowed on the beach to race with a normal race bar when it's straight. So that it's outside has not a particular advantage. The reason why I choose this bar instead of a straight bar is because the advantage of this bar is that you can be more aerodynamic, especially when you're standing up. When you're standing up with a wide bar, you go like this and you catch a lot of wind. And on the beach we reach to speeds of 60 km an hour, so it's very high, so aerodynamics can be important. And here in the drops I can sprint aerodynamic like on the road, so I'm more aerodynamic. The disadvantage of this bar is that it's smaller, so it's more difficult to handle, especially in the loose sand. But because I have some experience with cyclocross and a lot of road racing, I'm used to riding small bars. So for me, this bar is better than straight.
So I did a post on Instagram so people could ask me some questions about beach racing. And I will answer a few of them. Can you get seasick during beach racing?
I did.
Is it more tough than road racing?
Yep.
It's just constant pressure on your legs. Even if you're in the wheel, it's constant pressure. When you're in the wind, it's constant pressure, so it's really hard. Is tire pressure more important than in cyclocross, for example? Well, they tell me that tire pressure is the most important thing. What's fun about beach racing? It's on the beach, so it's beautiful. It's very hard, it's a lot of effort, but one thing is also fun, you ride with the pros. So it's, I think, the only race where amateurs like me can ride with pros. They start just 5 minutes before us, but because you turn on the beach, you cross them a couple of times, and I think that's very cool. You can race against them, you race the same race as they do, and you have the same stories at the end.
Fun fact, whose bike?
I rode on Ramon Sinkeldam's bike.
Boom.
And it was a great bike. Thank you, Ramon. Okay, last question. I think this is the best one from Nick. Are you going to kick Otto's ass? Yes.